she's interested in honors too, right? She's a
Yeah, exactly. The youngest honors student.
Whenever you're ready, Professor Rodrigo.
What's this? Oh, Tina Turner.
I have a question.
Okay, I feel like we can get started.
Are you only writing your name on the chat if you're for sure that you want to take honors, or are you just writing it just so it's like to show that you're?
If you can just write your name and email, even if you're interested and you wanted to receive the emails that will be coming through.
Oh. All right, thanks.
Especially if perhaps maybe you're not going to do it this semester, but it might be something you want to do in spring or even in next fall. We'll keep this list of names and we'll just send emails for any kind of events we're doing.
Okay.
All right. I see that the meeting's. I think we can get started. Welcome everybody to the fall semester. It's a virtual semester, and this is, I think, the first time that the honors orientation for students is held, through a Zoom meeting. We are very excited. We are the new coordinators of the San Diego Mesa Honors Program. I don't know if maybe Professor Rodrigo, if you want to be the first one to introduce yourselves, because we're going to be doing just welcoming and introductions first.
Sure. So as Rosie said, or Professor Escamilla said, we're new this semester. So this is our contact information. I'm an assistant professor of English in the English department. And this semester, obviously the best way to contact us is email. And I just also wanted to, before we forget, just let you know that this here is the correct contact information for us. There are other people listed on the website right now, but just contact us if you have questions. Let's see, I've been at Mesa this is the start of my 3rd year, but I've probably been teaching for, I don't know, a million years, over 13 years probably. And I got my undergrad I did my undergrad in 2 places. I transferred. I started at UC Santa Cruz, went to UC Davis, and then I got my graduate degree from SDSU. So we're here to answer any kinds of questions with our experience too. Rosie?
Hi, so my name is Rosiangela Escamilla, and I am a professor in the English department as well. Mesa, same year that Professor Rodrigo came in. We're actually neighbors in our offices, right? So let's see, my training is in literature. I went to UCSD and my BA was in literature, and my master's PhD. I'm still working on the dissertation. It's in literature, but with an emphasis in Chicana studies, particularly the Chicano moratorium of 1970. I've been teaching for quite a while as well. I started first at City, and then came to Mesa, and very, very, very excited. So just to give you an overview of the agenda, first we're going to be showing you some welcome videos from some of the leadership from the school, from our president, Pamela Luster, Dr. Pamela Luster, our vice president of instruction, Dr. Isabel O'Connor, and also from the vice president of student services, Dr. Ashanti Hans, and lastly from the dean of our learning resources and academic support, Dr. Andrew McNeil. So I think we're gonna go ahead and play those for you first, because they'd like to kind of, welcome you to Mesa College, to really express that honors is for everybody, right? We're really attempting to make this program inclusive and inviting, and just have like this culture that anybody can do an honors contract. It doesn't matter if you are starting at English 101, or if your English is your second language, or if you're an immigrant, or, you know, whatever it is, right? I think everybody has the capacity to thrive. So with that being said, let me go ahead and show you the videos. If I can get out of this thing. Oh, here it is. Sorry for the technical, like I'm just learning soon. So here is our president. And here's her welcome message.
Hello, Mesa Honors students. So wonderful that you're here today for your orientation, that you've taken the plunge to be on our honors program. I congratulate you for making that decision to work with each other as honors students, to work with your faculty members, to take that deeper dive of knowledge, to do a contract or a course. We know that honors students work really well together, and so we're excited that you're going to have this opportunity together. Congratulations again, and I look forward to handing you that degree or diploma at the end of your journey. Congratulations. Thank you.
And next we have a message from Dr. Isabel O'Connor. Maybe I'll do this so it's a little bit better, even though I like looking at Tupac too. Here it is.
Everyone, it is a pleasure to address you, the honors students who are going to join us this year. First of all, I want to say congratulations. You have certainly made a great decision to join one of the best programs on campus. You're going to be able to pursue to the highest level your academic achievement, because you obviously have in you a love of learning, a curiosity that asks you to go beyond the required and excel. Well, that's what the honors program is. But in addition to that, in addition to joining the honors, you bring stuff to the honors program. And we really value what you bring. You bring your culture, you bring your upbringing, you bring your experiences and your history. And that is a great asset that will guide you also through your academic pursuits. We want to value that and build on that. And in fact, one of the greatest things about honors is that you're going to be part of a learning community, a familia. You're going to have all your friends, even though we are not on campus, but even virtually, you'll feel them there learning alongside with you and supporting each other. And this is going to not only help you and be a great experience at Mesa, but beyond. As you transfer or enter the workplace, having been part of the honors program, that experience, the skills, the knowledge that you learn are going to be essential for success. So I am very proud of each and every one of you. I am here to help you. And I don't know if I told you who I am, but I'm the Vice President of Instruction, and my name is Dr. Isabel O'Connor. That is me. But anyway, let me repeat, I'm very proud of every one of you. I'm here to support you. And, you know, we are Mesa, somos Mesa, so way to go, honors students.
Okay, and I realized we should go ahead. I should play at Andy's welcoming messages, and then we do Ashanti because we'd have to do the transfer to Normati. So let me go ahead and play you the Dean of Learning Resources and Academic Support, his welcoming message.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Honors Orientation and welcome to San Diego Mesa College. My name is Andy McNeil. I'm the Dean of Learning Resources and Academic Support in the LRC, and I'm also honored to be the Dean that oversees the Honors Program. The Honors Program is known for its excellence, and here's the shirt that hopefully you'll get one of when you come back onto campus. This is what excellence looks like. The Honors Program is known for its excellence and all the support that it offers students like you. And it's great to see you making an investment in your education. Some of the opportunities that are available to you are tutoring, scholarship opportunities, leadership opportunities, growth, and many more things. You are fortunate to be given guidance by the two coordinators, Professor Jean-Marie Rodrigo and Rosiangela Escamilla. There's also faculty across campus that are here to support you through honors contracts and honors courses. So thank you for being here. You've made an investment in your education and your future. Research shows that students that engage on the campuses where they go to college, and whether it be remotely or in person, are more likely to succeed, and they're more likely to go on and reach their educational goals. Well, you've made that decision, and here you are. So congratulations for that, and have a wonderful year. Hope to see you on campus when we all get back.
Okay, and then here is the last one. This is our Vice President of Student Services, Dr. Ashanti Hands.
Hello, Mesa College students. My name is Ashanti Hands, and I'm your Vice President for Student Services. I'm so excited that you have joined us in this space as an expression of your interest in our honors program. And what I'm here to encourage you to do is to turn that interest into action and for you to commit to signing up for our program. Some of you come to us as honors students, and others are coming to us. And we will let you know that you have always been an honor student. You just needed the right environment and support to bring that part of you out and up to the surface. And that's what we're here to do at Mesa College, in particular our student services programs. We are here to remove any barrier that you may be experiencing so that you are free and clear to focus on being an honor student, being an active and engaged student. So what I want you to do is go to our homepage, and you'll see a link that says Online Student Support Services. What we have done is put all of our resources in one place to make it easy for you to access what you need when you need it. Through our programs, you have access to personalized counselors. You have access to clubs and organizations. You have access to scholarship opportunities. If you're experiencing food insecurity, we have resources for that. If you are experiencing any type of disability, we have resources for that. You name it, we've got something for you. So check us out, because we want to make sure that you have what you need to be who we know that you already are. And that's an honor student. So do it. Take that next step and know that you are not doing it alone, that we are here as a college and we are here as student services to make sure that we can support you in this process. And one of the things that I can't do is I can't wait until 2 years from now, where I'm sitting at your honors recognition ceremony and I'm listening to you all speak about the people that you have become in this process. To hear you say that I did not know I had it in me to do what it is that I did through the honors program. To hear you talk about your resilience, your persistence, your ability to do hard things, your ability to learn complicated information, your ability to contribute to your academic environment. There is so much to be gained from participating in this program, both inside and outside of the classroom. And we want you to have that experience. We see you. We are here for you. We believe in you. Do it. Sign up. And I look forward to seeing you utilizing our student support services to make sure that you are successful in this endeavor. Again, thank you for joining this space. Fill it up. Ask questions. Connect with people that spark and inspire something in you. We are all in this together. And I look forward to seeing you in our honors program in a few short years from now, as you graduate and transfer on to other institutions. Welcome to Mesa.
I'd like to move and transition to our student panelists. We have 2 student panelists who, maybe we can begin to unmute. And we really wanted to create an orientation that was student-centered, where you received advice from previous honor students from Mesa College, and they can, give you, the advice of, what to look out for, any kind of like words of encouragement, and, share their experiences as well. So I'd like to introduce one of the panelists. She actually did 1 or 2 honors contracts with me, one at San Diego City College and one at Mesa College. Her name is Andrea Dominguez. And Andrea Dominguez is still a phenomenal student and intellectual. And she's right now at UC Davis. and her major is in Chicana studies, and she is, because I think of the intellectual stimulation of honors, partly, but you know, it's really just in her. I think she's definitely going to be pursuing, you know, like a PhD. Okay, so welcome, Andrea, and thank you so much for, you know, sharing your experience.
Yeah,
And-
of course. Hi, everyone.
And then I want to introduce Rosalind Cassidy. She is a phenomenal former student, now is a lit writing major at UCSD, but I don't know, almost more importantly, super involved in community activism. And so I think too, one of the things that we appreciate in honor student, Rosie and I do, is when your honorsness goes outside of the campus and actually goes out into the community, so that you're using those strengths that you have to actually go out into the world, rather than just, you know, it's not about just getting A's. That's why honors is for everybody. Yes, you can get good grades, but let's just say you're someone who has a lot of fire and passion for some kind of subject matter. This is also the place for you. So Rosalind's definitely a student that can talk a lot about that. She's impressive, impressive, impressive.
Thank you so much, Professor Rodrigo. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
So what we're going to be doing is to have a set of questions for our honors, previous honors students, our panelists, right? And so I'll ask the first one, and you know, whatever order, you know, whoever wants to answer, right? Can you tell us why you first became interested in taking honors, and what was the motivation?
I can start. I think I was taking a class during the summer. It was like an English 101 class or something. And I remember Pega walked in because she was the honors coordinator at that time. And she was so enthusiastic about the honors program. And honestly, I just wanted to be her friend. I was like, she's got so much fire. Like, she's so like passionate about learning. Like, I had just been like starting to go back to school, and so I was like really motivated to like get involved. And so I just reached out to her. Like, I just emailed her, and she emailed me back right away and was like, hey, like, you can come to my office, we can meet, and I could just like chat with you about honors or whatever else. And then it just kind of started from there, and I just took a couple honors classes. And really, honestly, I just wanted to challenge myself. I was like at a point in my life where I was like figuring out my identity, and those honors classes really push you pretty hard, which is a really good thing, you know? And like Professor Rodrigo said, it's like not about getting A's and being like the best student. It's just about learning like certain skills, like certain like life skills that you can use when you leave campus. But I think the most like valuable thing to me was the relationships I created, like the professors I met, and like those were really the people that changed things for me. And I learned from, you know, my mentors and like people that had done it before. So kind of how I got started.
Oh, so I think my experience was kind of similar. I was also taking a class over the summer, and it was an English course as well. And I actually took it with Professor Escamilla. And I think, well, as a transfronteriza student or cross-border or transborder student, my experience in community college was kind of like the first time I encountered the US educational system. So I wasn't really familiar even with what honors meant. And I first became interested in honors because I took a class with her. And at the end of the summer, she was like, let's keep in touch. Like, we'll keep in touch. And then I kind of asked her again, like, hey, what classes are you teaching for the fall? And she was teaching, Profe was teaching Chai 138, which is like Latin American literature. And I took that class with her, and she motivated me. She's like, do honors, let's do an honors contract. And that's kind of how that happened. It was very organic, and it wasn't scary because I had already taken a class with her, and I already knew her, and she already knew me. So it was just, it just felt good to move in that direction.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Andrea was saying, I think it's also like the professors pushing you, because like sometimes like especially when you're young and you're just out of high school and you're getting to community college, like sometimes you don't have the confidence to be like, yeah, I could do this, or yeah, I could do honors, like, yeah, I could like figure out a project and be creative, like, but it really takes someone to just push you, especially like, I don't know, I'm not very close with my family, so like my like school life was like everything to me, you know, and that's for a lot of students too. So I think like what I was saying before, like the most important thing about honors is like the relationships you create.
Nice. Can you tell us specifically, like, you know, what was the honors projects that you ended up, you know, doing in the honors courses that you produced? And I really like the way that you know, the mentioning of like, you know, being creative and you know, following like an organic intellectual curiosity. So I'm really interested in what kind of honors projects you produced.
Yeah, so I ended up doing different honors courses after my first class. I think all of them were contracts with specific professors. So it ended up being like Chicano images in film, Chicano culture, Chicano literature, La Raza literature, English 205. So it was like after my first experience, I was like, okay, I got this, I can do this. So like to share a little bit about my projects, let's see, I did different honors projects. My first time around, like I said, it was a class with Professor Escamilla, and we studied 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And for that class, I ended up creating a zine and a presentation about the feminicidios in Mexico. And so the themes that emerged and how I connected sort of like this topic with what we were studying in class was kind of just touching on the forced disappearances and the legacy of neocolonial and state-operated violence. So that was kind of like the first scene that I ever made. I was really always interested in the medium, but I never had a reason to do it. So because I had that flexibility, I was able to propose that to a professor for my honors contract. And then from that experience, I was kind of like hooked. I learned a lot of things in creating that scene, and I ended up creating different like zine workshops. So I did zines and critical thinking in the classroom, which I presented in the 12th ARE Association of Raza Educators statewide conference. And then for my Chicano culture, as part of that honors project, I ended up presenting that workshop for actually faculty for the district. So faculty that was enrolled in the community project-based learning course for professional development. So those are courses that professors usually take in the district. So I ended up like presenting that. Let's see. Then I also did scenes and storytelling for organizings for the Students for Economic Justice at the Center for Policy Initiative. And then I continued working with Professor Escamilla, and I did a workshop for her English 47 class, Scenes, Identity, and the Personalization of Politics, which was really, really fun. And then for Chicano literature, which was my last honors course that I took before I transferred, our final project was to create a children's book. So I talked to Cristal, my professor, and I was like, what if I do like a little scene workshop so we can all kind of prepare to do our final project? So I ended up using a sense of place approach to create Chicanx children's literature. And it was a beautiful experience. All of the students created their own mini scene and became self-published authors. So I did kind of different projects, but they were kind of all connected, and I was giving the flexibility to be able to continue with like build on. So I didn't have to kind of like start from scratch. I was actually building on with each honors project. So yeah, my experiences and like with those projects, like I was able to be creative, like Rosalind was saying, do research, make connections, but also kind of do knowledge shares with my peers. So that's kind of, sorry, I'm reading, so I don't know if I'm doing it too fast because I prepared the question. So let me know if I have to like repeat something.
Yeah, so for me, it was a little different. I didn't actually do any honors contracts. I just took honors courses. So it's just like, basically what that is like, when you do an honors contract, it's just like you're taking a regular class. and you just like go to the professor and you're like, hey, like what can I do to make this class honors for myself? Like what can I do to challenge myself? Which just seems like what Andrea was doing, is like creating these things that, you know, you're interested in and that you want to work with the professor like one-on-one. And that also like creates a really good relationship with your professor too, because you're like going to office hours and talking to them. But I don't know, I always thought, I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm just going to take an honors course and like, just give me what I need to do. But there's a lot of freedom in honors courses, and a lot of like creativity. So a couple of things that I did a lot of like videos. Like I always wanted to be like a filmmaker. That's not going to happen, but I always like thought that was really cool. And so I was like, okay, let's tap into this. Let's see like if this is something that I actually want to do in the future, you know? And so I did a bunch of videos. I did one video about pronoun usage, and that was like a group project that we did in Professor Alfonsi's class. I think it was like an honors 205 English class. Basically, like in the beginning of the class, we wrote 2 papers, and then at the end, she was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna give you the freedom to make a video, and we just like brainstorm different topics. And so we did some community outreach like at the LGBTQ center, and like we reached out to folks and like, hey, it's like kind of like a storytelling thing where we just talk to like different community members. Oh my God, your baby. We just talked to different community members and, you know, just listened to their stories, and then cultivated a video that was like really educational in how to, and the video slogan was like, when in doubt, just ask. So it's like when you're out in the community and, you know, to normalize like stating your pronouns, like, hey, my name is Rosalind, my pronouns are she, her, hers. So it was like a video that we did in that class. And then another video I did, I think it was for a journalism class, an honors journalism class, where we just partnered up and we did a video. It was like the final project, and we did a video about like toxic masculinity. So it was like these like really cool like topics that like we were able to just like do whatever with, you know, and research a lot. We did a lot of research. And then the toxic masculinity video was like a PSA. So it was like a PSA to like society where like, you know, men should be comfortable with like expressing their emotions, and we shouldn't like teach men that it's wrong to cry, right? So that was really cool, and that was something we had a lot of freedom on. And it was cool because like I went on Instagram and like recruited actors, and so it was just like fun, you know. It was like something really cool, and we met really cool people. And then I know Professor Rodrigo, your class wasn't an honors, was it, when I took your class for the English?
I think that semester you chose not to do it.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
But we also created a cool video in that class too, with like a modern take on Shakespeare. And so that was another cool time where we like went out in the community as a group and just like met people and we're like, hey, you want to be in our video? But yeah, those are some of the projects that I created. And then also within the English 205 class, there was, I don't know if you all know VAMP. It's just like a storytelling platform. They do it through Mesa, and then they do it through the Whistle Stop Bar, I think. So you just like submit your stories, like your creative nonfiction stories. And so that project was really cool. It was more centered just like on myself and my story. I think that was my favorite project because I really like figured out a lot about myself and like skills that I had and weaknesses and strengths. And so, yeah, that's just what honors teaches you, honestly, like to step out of the box and like build a confidence that you may not have thought that you had before. So, yeah.
Nice, nice. So one of the other questions that I have for the student panelists is, what advice do you give prospective honors students that you wish you had received yourself?
I think like don't second guess yourself. Like just do it, you know, and like just really push yourself. We're all capable of doing anything. We just need to push ourselves, you know. Yeah, I think that's my advice. And don't be scared, you know. Everyone's friendly in honors. That's what I loved about honors when we were on campus, like they have that little like honors office and like we would always have really good discussions in there. And so, yeah, my advice is just don't be scared and just go for it.
Yeah, I think the same. I think just try it out. I think like as a woman of color, and like, you know, as POC, we usually struggle with like imposter syndrome, and we feel that these programs are not meant for us, that we're not good enough, that we're not intellectual enough, or maybe like we think that it's gonna be a lot of work, and like we already have, maybe we're juggling 2 jobs, or we have a complicated situation at home, or like whatever issues we have that we feel like we wouldn't be able to do honors. But I think that there is a lot of flexibility in the honors contract. So like you can talk to your professor, explain your situation, and more than like, okay, what is a professor gonna want from me? It's more like what do you want to get as a student from this experience, and like make sure to communicate that to your professor. So like, okay, so this is where I'm at. I want to do honors. This is what like I can bring to the table. Like, let's make it happen. Like, and I'm pretty sure like if you talk to your professor, or if you talk to the honors coordinators, like they can figure out something that works out for you, like an agreement and a contract that works out for you and for what you want to get out of this experience.
Yes, thank you. Thank you both of you for sharing just this idea that like, you know, it's your contract if you decide to do a contract, right? You know, and if you're taking an honors class, right, you know, to be kind to yourself and to also, you know, just really believe that, you know, you have a lot to share. You have a lot of like, you know, that your creativity is also intellectual production, right? You know, like dancing, right? Or like scene making, or like, you know, creating videos, right? You know, it should be fun, you know, it should be fun. Like, you know, learning knowledge should be fun, I think, when it's organic and when it's, you know, meant to really bring like the entire, you know, your entire humanity in it. Okay, let's see. This is kind of like more of like a different type of question. If you had a chance to change anything about honors at Mesa or in our district, you know, what kind of changes would you make from a student perspective that you think would benefit the program or would improve the program?
I think honestly, maybe just like, I know you can make any class honors with the honors contract, right? But just maybe offering more just honors courses. Because I remember there wasn't a lot to choose from, right? There was like, I remember there was that one honors English 205, and I was like, oh, cool, it's available for this semester, so I'm going to take it, you know? But there wasn't much else, and maybe it has changed because I don't go there anymore, but just more classes that are, you know, centered around challenging students and centered around like creativity. Like the educational system is so like, you know, it's like, we let us be creative, like, you know, that's why I dig the honors contract, because you can, like Andrea was saying, you can cater it to your passion, you know, and do what you want with it.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that everything's perfect like in our colleges, but I can't really like, I guess, think of anything that I would change right now. I had time to prepare for this question, but I didn't really know how to answer it, to be honest. I think what the first thing that came to mind was like financial aid, like for everyone. Like I think college and education should be free. So like if I could change one thing, like yeah, education shouldn't cost like money, you know, and like you shouldn't have to be like a citizen to get FAFSA and to get aid and to get, so like maybe that's something that, you know, colleges can take into consideration when they're budgeting, to make sure that maybe whoever is applying to grants, they're applying to grants so that perhaps maybe honor students can get, you know, financial aid or scholarships. I think, especially now that we're in a pandemic, especially now that like a lot of us are on unemployment, like, you know, like if you don't have money to buy your books, like, you know, you're most likely not even going to be thinking about taking honors. So I think that's like the one thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, when you were talking right now, Andrea, I was thinking too, it was like some sort of like, I know we don't need to be rewarded for like, you know, our academics, but it sometimes like when you are struggling financially, it is nice. So maybe like an incentive, like a gas card or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like a gas card goes so far sometimes, you know, it's just like, damn, like I just need $30 like to get to class, you know? So I don't know, just small stuff like that, because there are a lot of students that are living out of their cars and are homeless. So it's like something that like, and everyone loves free stuff. So something that gets us pumped up, you know, like, hey, challenge yourself, get a free gas card if you come to this orientation or whatever. I don't know, but like a reward type of thing.
Definitely agree. I think, you know, especially in terms of like, you know, this is labor, right? Like when you do an honors contract or when you take an honors class, right? It costs to come to community college. It's costly to be a full-time student, right? You know, so I think that's really, really important. And I know that there's questions and that, you know, some of you are raising your hands, you know, please don't wait. There's going to be a Q&A. So, you know, we're going to get to your questions. So first, I want to just make sure that Andrea and Roslyn really kind of share their experience. All right. One other question that I have for you is think about where you are now. And in what ways would you say the honors prepared you for your future academic journey, or, you know, really life in general, right? I mean, I think Roslyn was kind of touching a little bit about this, right? But yeah, how did your life benefit from honors?
I think for me, like, you know, whenever you're, like they always say, like whenever you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, you really grow from that situation. And I was like, in honors, I was pushed into a lot of situations where I was uncomfortable, and I was like, wow, I have never done this before, you know, like I've never gone up and like did a speech before, or I never like, you know, went out to the community before and did volunteer work before. Like it really pushes you, and you look back on it like once it's done and you're like, wow, I did that. Like I didn't know I could do something like that. And so it really has prepared me since I've transferred, because I have that confidence. So I go to UCSD now, and I have that confidence to be like, I can take these classes and I can do it, right? Like, because I was exposed to that honors environment, and it's just like that environment is like people want to learn, and people have a passion to learn. So it's like when you surround yourself with it, you kind of just like, I don't know, mold into it, and you're like, yeah, like all right. But it really, yeah, like it just gave me the confidence. And, you know, since quarantine, it really helped me to form this like sense of network. And so like in the beginning of quarantine, me and some friends like started a mutual aid fund. And so basically what we did was just like start raising money like within our network, and like reaching out to like people that we know, like professors that we know, other honor students that we know, folks that, you know, have resources for us that can help, you know, because it was a really difficult time in the beginning. Everyone, like we knew like a lot of communities were going to be left behind. And so we started raising money, and then what we did was just like redistribute that money like through Venmo and Cash App to like certain communities. And so it just got money to people quickly, because, you know, it was like mid-March, and people had to pay rent in April, and there's undocumented folks that aren't getting stimulus checks. So I think honestly, like honors like helped me become the person I am today. And I'm not lying when I say that. It just really pushed me into certain things that I don't know if I would have been pushed in before, you know, and certain situations where I was like, okay, I feel really uncomfortable, but you know what, like, I'm just going to do it, you know, and you push through, and then you're like, okay, wow, like I have that confidence on my back now. Like I went through that experience, you know, and I think during those times when we started that mutual aid fund, it was really this beautiful moment when I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I joined honors, because I'm connected with so many professionals and so many people in the educational world, which understood like the mission that we were trying to formulate, you know? So confidence, that's what I learned.
Yeah, I think for me it was confidence too. Like personally, like being an honor student impacted me because it helped me find and exercise like my own academic voice. Profe was asking us like, think about where you're at now. Well, I transferred to UC Davis, and now that I transferred to like a 4-year college, um, I feel like more at ease with professors because I already like have built relationships with professors back home. Like I take advantage of office hours. I have like a sense of autonomy when it comes to my education, and I feel more confident like when I have to submit project proposals or abstracts. But yeah, like again, like Rosalind was saying, I think what I took like my biggest takeaway, at least from my honors experience, was the relationships that I was able to create and nurture. In most of my honors classes, it wasn't just like one student. It was like 4 or 5 of us. So we would do like office hours together, do homework together, support each other, finding mentors, women mentors. Because of the relationships I built with professors, like I was able to ask for letters of recommendation for job opportunities, internships, scholarships. Because of those letters, like Profe wrote a bunch. Like I was a student for Economic Justice Fellow with the Center for Policy Initiative. I was able to do a lot of activism with environmental justice in National City. I was an AFT intern. And again, I was also able to be a union scholar with AFSCME and Harvard. And that last opportunity came with a scholarship. And that's how I supported myself financially for my first year of college at UC Davis. And I see all of this connected to my honors experience, because otherwise, like, I wouldn't have had those like resources in that community to like help me get where I am today. So I definitely think honors had a lot to do with where I'm at now. And yeah, I'm like majoring in Chai studies, and I'm an academic community counselor now. And it's cool because I've been a student, I've been an honor student, I'm a transfer student, I'm a immigrant student. So I'm able to like kind of all these experiences have prepared me kind of like for the role that I have now as like a peer advisor, as a student that wants to go to grad school. And it all started in community college in honors. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, last thing, can you just briefly tell us what are your goals? What does your future look like where you're at right now? And then after that, we'll go to the Q&A that'll be open for everybody.
So I think my goals are to graduate, to finish this distance learning next quarter, because they already told me winter quarter is going to be remote, maybe spring too. So graduate. I'm also, I want to go to grad school after I get my BA. I want to get a PhD in literature. And it's like the same professors that I took honors courses with that I like send them my papers for revision and like ask them, and still like I get like counseled by them and guidance and even like just support, just moral support that I'm gonna be able to do it and figure it out. And I want to be an educator. So those are my goals.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you. I know it's so weird to be virtually learning right now. It's a very weird time. But for me, my future goals, I'm studying for the LSAT right now. So to just transfer to law school, like right after I graduate. Also, because like, it's kind of the smartest thing to do to just like continue your education right now, because like the job market's not going to be that great once we graduate. And if you could find yourself in a position where you have a good like financial package for like grad school or law school or getting your PhD, I would go that route, you know, just stay in school, because then you're, you know, you don't have to work and you don't have to worry about like supporting yourself if you do get financial aid. And usually like with the grad programs, you do get like a financial package that they offer you, you know. But yeah, I want to like represent marginalized communities within San Diego. And I think just like future goals is just like continue to do community outreach right now, while we're all still in this global pandemic, and just help folks that need it right now. Like a lot of people are vulnerable. So, and it doesn't take a lot to just go out into the community and buy someone groceries. You know, just simple things. I'm working with a person right now who's blind and deaf, and they're getting evicted from their apartment. And, you know, you can't evict anyone right now from your apartment. It's against the law, but, you know, there's a lot of people that are vulnerable. You know, you're blind and deaf, and you can't, there's restrictions on how you're going to stand up for yourself. So, you know, just using our privilege right now, whatever that looks like, whatever your platform looks like, whatever your privilege looks like, use it, especially right now, and continue to use it. And those are the things that you learn in honors. Seriously.
Beautiful. I love like this commitment to social issues and, you know, social justice, and then just the politics of care, right? You know, Dr. Cornel West calls it like, you know, what does love look like in public, right? So I really love, you know, love everything that both Roslyn and Andrea said. So now we're gonna open it up to a Q&A. I know that Dennis, you know, has had his hand for a while. So I guess, you know, we'll begin with Dennis, and then I'll take a look at the chat to see who else has, you know, questions. Know that like after this, we're also going to be doing a quick PowerPoint where the first thing that we're going to show you is briefly how to start initiate an honors contract. And there's so much more the honors does, but, you know, the hours just kind of gave us this, okay? So Dennis, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, actually. So I'm wondering, first things first, is that about the presentation on the research conference on UC Irvine. And I'm wondering, how does it look like if you were to do that, and from like the start to from the beginning to the very end?
So how does presenting in research, your own research?
Right, in like the one in UC Irvine, because I heard a lot of people saying about the research conference on UC Irvine.
Yeah, so that depends, right? You know, like I know that there's certain professors. I know that it's Dr. Ian Duckles that has organized honor students to go in to present. I don't know the details, but I can tell you what you know, typically I have done when I've prepared students to present their research. It's pretty much not any different from presenting in a classroom, and really just, you know, either, you know, presenting your creative project or, you know, doing a PowerPoint presentation, but you know that you will not be doing it alone. Like, you know, you'll be having the support of faculty, you know, going to the conference, you know, being there for you, and preparing you to do the best job, you know. You can.
Yeah, I might be interested with that, actually, because
Okay.
like, I know
Probably so that will be coming. I think so.
you mean this semester?
Okay. Yeah, probably. You know, they'll be coming. We don't have them now, but, you know, I think they'll be coming. All right. Do we have another question? Let me see. Where's the chat? There's so many. I haven't been.
I see one about doing an honors contract for STEM class, and yes, you can. Because I remember I took a stats class, and there was, he announced like in the beginning, like, hey, like if you want to do an honors contract, just come to me at the end and we could figure out what that looks like. Basically, it was a stats class, and the honors project it was very simple. It was, they had to have an extended time on their presentation for the final presentation. So everyone else's was 10 minutes, theirs had to be 20 minutes when they, like we did like a research project and had to do like surveys and stuff. So basically they just had like a slightly different criteria for the final project. And that's honestly something you just like figure out with your professor. I'm sure they're like, if you want to do something different, I'm sure they're open to that.
Yeah, so any class that's at the 100 and above level, so like, you know, English 101 or Humanities 101 and above, can be made into an honors contract if the professor is willing to do an honors contract with you. So the first step, if you're interested in turning any of your classes into an honors, you know, a project or course, just take the professor, or in this case, email the professor. Right? All right.
I have a question. Is it going to be a section for like online format with the honors this semester?
Every project for an honors contract is going to depend on what you agree upon with the professor that you're doing the honors program, right? So you know, I would think that like for me, so like if a student is doing kind of like say a zine, like, you know, Andrea did, I would, you know, encourage the student to present, to do a virtual class and present their project to their classmates. And, but then again, that's how I would do it, right? It's gonna be very up to the professor, you know, how you
because
hang your project.
I'm a accounting honors student, and like normally we couldn't choose like honors classes as an online format before, but with everything going on.
Yeah, so like, you know, it's gonna be just kind of like the same adaptation, right? Like this would be, we will be meeting in a huge, you know, like in MC 211A, for instance, right? But we had to adapt and we had to do it virtually, right? So I'm sure there's gonna be virtual adaptations, you know, for your projects. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? You're welcome. Yes, Ella?
So I know like there's a way you can graduate like with the honor certification. And one of like, you have to do two things, I can't remember. One is like taking 15 honors credits, and the other was like joining like Phi Theta Kappa. And I know for me, I'm taking honors courses at both Miramar and Mesa, so I don't know if it switches between. But I applied for Phi Theta Kappa, and then when the pandemic hit, just everything went on a standstill. So I don't even know if I can graduate with honors at this point. So do you have any information on like if that would affect me graduating with honors or not?
You should be able to graduate with honors. There is a specific criteria to get your honors certificate, right? Which is, I think it's about like, you know, completing up to 15 units under, you know, honors, and you can combine them, the ones that you took at Miramar and at Mesa, because it's the same district. And as far as the Kappa, you know, club, those details are being worked, right? You know, but I think you know, students, the leadership of that are beginning to kind of organize and reach back to those students who are interested in it.
Okay.
I remember too, another thing when I was on Mesa, another criteria was 10 hours of community service, but I don't know what that looks like now because like some of us aren't going out into the communities anymore. But I remember that one too.
I see a question in the chat. When you began taking honors courses, was it hard for you? And if so, what helped you adjust? So that's for our student panelists. So when you first started taking honors, was it hard for you? And then what helped you adjust?
Yeah, it was hard for me, honestly, at first. I was going through a lot in like just my personal life too, so it was hard. Just reach out to your professors. They're normal people and they're awesome. So I just like went to my professor at like during her office hours and just talked to her about like what's going on. And, you know, either they can like adjust the contract for you or just keep, you know, they keep in mind like, hey, this person's struggling. I'm just gonna keep that in the back of my head, and yeah, just be vocal. That's one thing. It does get hard though, but you just push through it.
Mm-hmm. Constant communication, I think is definitely key, especially now, right? You know, that we are just restricted to virtual, you know, communication, right? I think that there's two participants that raised their hands. Do you want to just, you know, one of you could, yeah, okay, Dylan, go ahead.
So someone mentioned Phi Beta Kappa. So I got the email for that a little while ago. Is that hard to get in? Is that something you automatically get in? No, so it is hard to get in. What is that? I don't really know what that implies exactly.
Are you asking once you sign the contract, whether there's an acceptance period or not?
Well, I got right here. So
no, so I think his question is more,
yeah.
You know, so you don't have to join the honors club, or you don't have to join Alpha Beta Kappa for your, you know, for you to take honors, right? You know, taking honors is one thing, and if you want to join an honors community, right, and if you want to, you know, be in contact with other students, you know, there are those two clubs in you know, on campus that would give you additional kind of community and support, right? And I think emails on how to join, you know, Alpha, Beta, Kappa, or the Honors Club will be coming. So and also just make sure that you're following us on social media, because that's the main, that's one of the main, you know, streams of communication that we have right now, as far as publicizing the other components of honors, right? I think today we're gonna really just kind of focus on honors contracts and honors classes.
All right. Well, in that case, I guess a similar question. With the honors contract, is that how important? Like, I'm just trying to gauge how important that is versus just taking courses. And so someone asked this similarly, but especially since we're not actually doing volunteer work anymore, if I'm correct about that, the contract.
I think, so like one thing is kind of like your requirements to graduate with the honor certification. And I believe there was like taking 15 units, and then there's a GPA requirement. And then each college, depending on where you're gonna graduate, might have the volunteer hours. Right now, I think, honestly, because of the pandemic, those requirements might change and they might be flexible. But for the honors contract, if it was like an in-person situation, you just kind of go to the honors office, ask them for a contract, go back to your professor and kind of talk about it. And it's kind of very, it's a very like simple, it's just like a conversation with that professor. And then you just make sure to submit it before the deadline. And I'm assuming it's going to be a very similar process. You're going to have a PDF version of that or an electronic version of that contract. You'll probably like maybe Zoom with your professor or talk over the phone, and then submit it to the honors office for the contract. But I think, yeah, it's kind of, they're kind of like, there's like different aspects to honors. So you can either do contract, you can either do a course that's offered honors, and then there's the clubs and all those things. But I think the first kind of step would be like taking an honors course. And then you can kind of like figure out if this is for you, if you want to do the club, if you want to do like the core honors core courses. Like I think maybe like the first step is like thinking or realizing like I do want to take an honors course, and figuring if that's going to be a contract or fitting that into your schedule. But yeah, I don't know if that answers the question.
Let me show everybody briefly our honors website. And if the first thing that you want to do is, I'm interested in initiating, you know, an honors contract with my professor, and she already said, yes, let's do it. This is where you would go. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen real quick. So can everybody see my screen? Awesome. So you go to San Diego Mesa College, and then you go to programs, and then you go to our honors program, and then it tells you everything about honors. So you go to the part where it says contract, honor contract, and you just hit this honors contract, and it'll take you to our contract, our virtual sort of agreement that you begin. You put your email, just you check on all of these, right? It's because these are the, you have to make sure that, you know, it meets the requirements. Like one of the things, for instance, is that like an 8-week course would not be eligible. It has to be at least 15 weeks. Typically before COVID, you know, it had to be a face-to-face. Online courses were not eligible, but that changed again, right? And so you fill this up, and what this will do is this will send an email to your professor, and then an email to us, the coordinators, and then we'll see kind of like your application to, you know, it's kind of like an application, right? You know, like to turn the course into an honors contract. And then, you know, we get it and we approve it, and we say, you know, yes, we approve the of the suggested, you know, additional coursework to turn this class into an honors. And you know, like I think that's pretty much, you know, it, right? You know, so we will be sending a link to this, and then, you know, formal directions on how to complete it. to both students and faculty. Any other questions?
There was a question in the chat about the difference between an honors course and turning your class into an honors class. So just so that you know, there are honors courses that you can enroll in. Teachers sign up for them or professors sign up for them a year in advance. So if you signed up on the schedule for an honors course, you would be in an honors course. But if you are completing an honors contract, what you're doing is just going to your regular course and talking to your professor, and you and your professor will work together to create an honors project that will turn that course for you into honors. And it will change in your, when you look at your transcript, it will change for you. But everyone else may be taking the class in the regular way.
I think it's 4:02.
Oh yes.
We're gonna go from 3 to 4 p.m. You know, we're not sure. Really, you know, our intention with this honors orientation was to make it very student-centered, you know, to make it very welcoming, and you know, email us directly your questions. You know, let me you know, before we leave, I'll leave our email information, so that way you either, you know, Professor Rodrigo or I will answer your questions that we didn't get a chance to cover, you know, during this session. But I want to thank, you know, Roslyn and Andrea for sharing your experiences. I want to thank, you know, the you know, 70 or so prospective students. You know, we are new as you know, honors co-coordinators, and we're, you know, just very excited to help you through the process. Okay, and you know, thank you so much for joining us in this orientation.
Yes, and please, please, please don't be afraid. Email us, even if you're not thinking about this until a future semester, but you need questions answered. That's what we're here for. And again, she'll put up our contact information for that. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you,
Have a
everybody.
great day.
Good luck, everyone.
Let me put the contact information really quick, okay, before, you know, like we take off. And Professor Rodrigo's email, and this is, you know, my email. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody.
Hi. Before we go, can I ask something?
We can answer it really quickly. Yes.
Yes. So, what's gonna happen with the volunteering requirements and also the counseling hours? Are they gonna continue this semester?
Counseling for sure. I think we'll have a virtual counseling component, you know, should be announced pretty soon. As far as the volunteer, that's, you know, we're under COVID, honestly, you know, and
so,
you know, professors are gonna have to be flexible and adjust. So, you know, that's really kind of like a, you know, something that
because I did like 4 hours last semester, but I still have like 6 hours, I think, for the requirements.
Yeah. So that'll probably be something that we'll figure it out. That we'll figure out later. Yeah.
Okay.
And email us.
And also, I have a question for Phi Theta Kappa. I got an email that like I got in the dean's list, and they said I can apply. I emailed them, but there was nobody like answered yet. Is it like a different process to get in, the dates, or maybe I have the wrong email address?
It's probably because it's a transitional leadership, and you know, you probably have like a new, you know, leaders, or they're figuring that out, right? And it's just a matter of being patient. I think, you know, not all the answers, you know, not everything is automatically already adapted to our virtual, you know, our new kind of format. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful, you know, rest of your day, and we're very excited to working with everybody. Thank you.
Oh, I had a question.
I have a question too.
If you all can just email either Professor Escamilla or myself, that would be great, and we can answer that way. That would be the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Okay, thank you. Just email us. You can see our email information right there on the screen. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible with the answer that you need. And it's helpful because then you can personalize your question.
All right, sounds
Yeah,
good.
I was just confused on that Phi Theta thing too.
Yeah, yeah, especially for that with the Phi Theta Kappa thing, please email us because that is in transition and we're actually talking to the previous people about that.
Yeah, my question was just simple. Do I have to be a part of it to receive honors?
Oh, no, that's a totally separate thing. Totally
Okay.
your choice. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.